Alright, so this is a video about the Dragonik. So I'm going to do a video to kind of sort a couple things out instead of writing it down, because I do have everything up here. It's just that writing everything down is kind of complicated. I just want to sort things out. So first off, what is a Dragonik? Dragonik is a story. It's a fantasy. Oh yeah, fantasy fiction story, adventure, action. So let's break it down. Years ago, there were war among races. I'm talking all type of races: human races, human, elves, goblins, minotaur, orcs, all the races, all the fantasy races you can think of: fairies, pixies, um, dragons, every type of race we're talking about, even the ones in between. So they were at war in the surface, killing, innocent people. You know how war is. Sometimes innocent people are just casualties, collateral damage. And then because of that, because of hundreds of years at war, bloody war, they were all summoned to the dungeons, or as we call it, the Dragonik dungeons. Now, every race, everyone, good and evil, was summoned down to the depths of a magical dungeon where nobody can escape. You can't dig up. If you dig up, it's like you never left. Dig down is like you never left. The only way you can do is dig sideways and hope you can find other parts of the Dragonik. That's the only thing that exists. So that's basically it. Yeah. Oh, when they were summoned, a voice appeared. I can do a voice or a text, like a text, like a scripture, either or. Basically saying that because yada yada yada, bloodbath, malaction, because of that, you're now in the dragon. You're now in this dungeon. The only way out is Dragonik. That's it. Is the not it? Not it is the Dragonik. It's Dragonik. That's it. Nothing particular. No hints as to what it is. I know it sounds like dragon. Pretty cool. Like pretty. Like, oh, it's gonna be like a final dragon at the end. Like, yes and no. Like, yeah, but it's Dragonik. So, every so often years, I'm thinking 1,000 years. 1,000, I'm thinking like 500 or 200. Every certain amount of years, the dungeons reset. So, at first, the clans or the races, the clans established themselves. They obviously kept on fighting. Then there were some groups made, and then some, like what we would consider small cities or towns, were made. And then after 100 years, all of the compartments, the dungeon, moved around. So some cities were even split in half. Some whole cities that were in the center of things got pushed all the way out to like the side. And obviously after you do the big shift, travel or your means of communication, maps are just gone, like useless anymore. Yeah. So another thing to keep in mind, there is a timer. There's a timer to these things. So the story starts off with our protagonist. Now, here's the things that I want to say. Regarding the names of the protagonists, I have no clue how to name them. No clue. I think when the story is complete, we'll give them all actual names. I have names for one, which is Hamilton. But he doesn't appear at the beginning. I guess for now I'll just give him generic names. So for protagonist, we're just gonna call him protagonist. Basically it. For the protagonist's rival, we're just gonna call them rival. For the protagonist friend, we're just gonna call him friend. And friend one, female friend two, Spider Girl. There's a Spider Girl. We're just gonna call it Spider Girl. And then Hamilton, we're just gonna call him Hamilton. So there you go. So at the beginning, the protagonist's dad is chosen amongst the strongest warriors of the town to represent them in the excursion for the Dragonik. So what is the excursion for the Dragonik? There is one central force. There's a lot of uncentralized power, but like governance or politics. There's a lot of things that are just however they want to do it. But there is one small central force, not small, but there is one which is like the royalty or royal decree. So there's like one, you could say like a type of monarch. Um, Basically someone who acquired power after the last shift that happened 100 years ago. The family is just controlling it. So basically they just decreed that every town or every recognized village has to send their strongest warrior in order to find the Dragonik, and once that warrior dies, a new one is chosen. So we can just find that and get out the way. So his father, protagonist's father, is chosen amongst them. He beat what would now later on be considered the chief. So he beat his rival. He set off, obviously said goodbye to the kid. Now the protagonist was under his care of his rival, which is now considered the chief. The second strongest becomes the chief. The first one just leaves, and obviously the chief can't. Yeah, up until the when his father dies, that's when they do like another battle to see who can be the next warrior. So starts off as that, him leaving and him growing up in the chief's family, which is where we meet the rival. So there's a couple kids there, but most importantly is just him and the rival. There's also a couple kids in the village, a couple really good friends of him that will later come up in the story. But most importantly, that the town, it's called, I forgot the name. I found a cool name for it, but it's a town surrounded by water. There's a lot of water. There's a big lake. That's very important to the story. But there's a big lake, so the name is something like the Start of Lake or something like that. Starting Lake, something cool like that. Yeah. So if you're wondering, like, how does light work? How does food work? Well, there are light particles or like crystals that act like light or sun. 24-hour clock. Same as mostly all of the dungeon. If there are these crystals, they shine light at the same time. They go dark at the same time. Mostly, not all the case, but mostly that is the case. And that's about it. Now, yeah, let's just say that crystal gives them the same good vitamins as just sunlight. Let's just say hypothetically. And regarding like air, water, well, yeah, let's just air and water. It's magic, bro. It's magic. You're good. And regarding food, so yeah, there are animals in there. Like I said, everything good and bad went down there. So there are birds, there are animals. There's dungeon filled with trees, saplings that animal when the animals and everything went down. I'm not saying all the animals, because if they ever go to the surface, because when they do, there are gonna still be animals. Just that they basically gave them some livestock. And yeah, so it's a cool mix between dungeon and nature. So it's a pretty cool thing. I want to like give them a mix. So his father dies. That's when episode basically 1 begins. His father dies. Tragic, very sad. And yeah, and they start off with a new trial. So there's a new fighting arena. How do they choose it? They capture the strongest monster they can, and basically they put the top 5 contenders for the village, and then there's like, hey, whoever takes down this monster wins. Don't kill yourself. Don't get killed. So he loses to his rival. His rival is the one who's officially considered the warrior, and in second place would be him. Now, the chief didn't really participate because he's a little old. He's very strong, still insanely strong, but he's considered like he feel like it's not his job anymore to do it. And yeah, so his rival left. They gave him a whole ceremony, a whole feast. Him very sad, very sad. His rival left and embarked on his journey. Then like less than a day, he decides to, even though his rival left and it is his rival's duty to do it, he feels like he needs to at least find his father's grave, and at least bring back his father's sword, because he was a very strong, very, very strong swordsman. Later on, we'll see throughout his journey the protagonist's journey to find his father's sword. We see all the cool feats he's done throughout the years. But basically, yeah, he embarks on his own journey to find his father's sword and just bring it back, have some closure, have some peace. Yeah, that's basically it. So that's how he starts off. Now, before he leaves the little town, let's just call Starting Lake. Before he leaves Starting Lake, very important, the elder stops him. He was gonna sneak out at night. It stops him, gives him good equipment, and basically says to take care of himself. Like, he basically gives him permission to do it. Not permission, but gives him like a pass. Gives him some word of advice, and tells him to go a certain route. So the rival is given a map. Maps are kind of hard to find sometimes, especially surrounding like your town map. So basically made by the locals. So basically told him kind of a guiding way to go, and that's about it. So most importantly, the elder and the elder's granddaughter, which later will come up again, basically helps him out, gives him a good sword because he was leaving with basically like a club, like nothing important, and basically kind of sends him off to the journey. Now, obviously, the granddaughter is very sad because the granddaughter has a crush on him too. But that'll come up later in the story. So yeah, basically that they're on the same age. Speaking of age, what age is he embarking in the journey? You're looking at about 18, 19 to 20, like around that age. Like I would say 19. 19 is a good age. He's not a kid, but he's not an adult. So yeah. So that's how it starts. Very important. In that part, it's introduced the rival, him, his father, the chief, the elder, which is an Esper. She sees the future. That's why she knows that she knows that he was gonna leave. Granddaughter, which is his female friend, one of his female friends, is very important in the story. She later becomes part of the group, but later on, she's still basically in training by the granddaughter. She also by her grandmother, the elder, because she's also like a type of Esper. Like, she can see somewhat in the future, and she does have magical properties, like powers and shit. So pretty cool. So that's the lore. That's the starting point. Now let's go to stage 2. Stage 2 is where he finds his first friend and companion, and also when he finds his like first encounter with a different race and different clan. So on his way to the next town over, which is a bigger town, you have to go through a couple of dungeons. So there's a map. There's like a whole map. She basically kind of tried guiding him. 1 second.